Let's try to put ourselves in Yosef HaTzadik's shoes. His brothers sold him to Mitzrayim, and now is his chance for revenge. He can embarrass them, he can disgrace them, he can make them feel his pain. But what does he do? He sends everyone out of the room. The moment that he's about to reveal himself, he sends everyone out of the room. And then when everyone is gone, when it's only him and his brothers, he says, "Hey, Ani Yosef, it's me." Not only that, but the Targum Yonasan ben Uziel tells us that Yosef HaTzadik never told his father what his brothers had done to him. What a remarkable display of strength, and what an incredible way to preserve someone else's dignity. Listen to the following story. It's one that's worthwhile listening to. There was a great man, his name was Reb Chaim Gedalia Dessler. He was a partner with his brother, who was a big tzaddik. His name was Reb Reuven Dov Dessler. And they were in the lumber business. Reb Reuven Dov was a goyin and a tzaddik, but he also was in a business together with his brother. And Reb Chaim Gedalia one day made a tremendous amount of money. He made a great deal, and he came home from his business dealings, and he laid down in bed and he went to sleep. Little did he know that Andre, the fellow who helped around the house, who did the chores, well, he saw where he put his money, and he took the money. When Reb Chaim Gedalia woke up, he looked around and he asked his family members, "Where's the money I brought home?" It was a tremendous amount of money. Did anyone come in and out of the house? And all of them told their father, no one entered the house. They quickly realized it was Andre that had taken the money, and he approached Andre and he asked him, and while at first Andre denied the accusations, soon he admitted. And Chaim Gedalia told him, "Okay, return the money." And he said, "I can't. I incurred a lot of debt, and I used the money to pay back that debt." He was out a whole bunch of money. Well, Andre said, "I guess I'll pack my bags." And Reb Chaim Gedalia said, "No, don't. But I'm going to be watching. And the next time you do take money from me, I'll have to ask you to leave." Andre couldn't believe it. He didn't ask him to leave his house after he had stolen a tremendous amount of money from him. Well, years went by, and Andre was a loyal worker. He did everything and then some. He was so grateful to the family for keeping him on after he had grossly ruined their relationship. Eventually he moved on, and he went to go make some money on his own. Years passed by, and then the communist revolution took place, and the timber and lumber business went kaput. Reb Chaim Gedalia lost all his money. But that wasn't the worst of it. The KGB agents entered his home, ransacked the apartment, and looked desperately to find something. And they found something. A typewriter. Oh, if you had a typewriter, it must mean that you're stealing money. It must mean that you're spreading false propaganda. It must mean that you're a crook. A crook. They hauled him away in handcuffs. In the meantime, his wife, she was desperate. She knew that they would send him to Siberia. Their lives would be ruined. She ran from one person to another begging for some sort of explanation, and finally she came to a business. She came to an office building. She walked in, it was transformed into a KGB headquarters. And she said, "I need to speak to somebody." They directed her to a room, and she walks in, and the man looks up. Lo and behold, who was it? It was Andre. Andre had become a big shot in the KGB. He saw her, he said, "Wow, Mrs. Dessler, what can I do for you?" And she said, "They're accusing my husband of being a crook." And he said, "A crook? Of course not. Most honest man. He preserved my dignity." He took out the papers He stamped them. He gave her the papers back. He said, your husband will be let free. And he handed her train tickets for her entire family. Flee the country immediately. And they did. And they saved their lives. They saved them from the frozen, bitter misery of Siberia. They ultimately escaped the clutches of the Nazis as well, made their way to England, survived the war, and today are an exceptional family. Look at what human dignity, preserving human dignity, can accomplish. Treating people not only like mention, but beyond the letter of the law. Who knows, it can even save your life.